Fall of Titan, Numero Dos, is an action-packed, movement-fast, fucking satchel charge, I can't rhyme, and undeniably the closest thing to virtual crack. You control superhuman beings known as pilots, where you become a proficient parkour master. Learn how to outmaneuver other pilots, combust inside another dude, have literal aimbot. This is total bullshit, but I fucking love it. And the means of transport is a literal Gundam. Don't expect any Gundam reference. This walking warcraft is such a menace in the battlefield, you need another unstoppable force to destroy it. Fight fire with fire, except that fire may lead into a dick flattening. You should expect absolute chaos upon joining this game. That the least chaotic moment is when 50 drones pull up like I own them drug money. So please, come experience what it feels like to be in a community simply for a voice actor who only said 27 words. Yes, I fucking counted.
Break them, John.
God, no!
We don't want to talk, yo, bitch.
Welcome to a schizo's wet dream, where you find pill-popping, sequel-hoping, cocaine-deprived individuals coping the fact that Apex keeps stealing the shit. And by chance, if you don't know, because you just happened to escape the island recently, this is Titanfall 2, a fast FPS shooter I straight up can't keep up. And it's amazing how I somehow skipped this game. And don't blame me, I thought riding horses just seemed more fun. But now since I get a chance to play it, it's fucking awesome. Downright cinematic. And the fact they got flushed down the toilet because of $400 sword kinda pisses me off. Now, to be honest, this is not a review. If you want my honest opinion, get the game. It's $4 on Steam. Actually, never mind, that deal went away. I should really pump out these videos faster. But to simply put it, people love this game, and I can see why. The problem is, I think people love it a bit too much, as in not letting me enjoy the goddamn game. Now, speed is the name of the game. That's how you win fights, escape dire situations, or simply break some ankles. But because of that, the skill curve is incredibly high. Plus, it doesn't really help fighting against people who don't remember the color of grass. So that's why I recommend practicing in Frontier Defense and or the campaign. Because I'm not exaggerating when I say speed is the name of the game. And it sure is nice mastering the movement system. Titans is probably the fattest reason you're here. If I had one sentence to describe Titans, it's bored but fucking awesome. Because the game goes from a movement shooter to a position shooter, and is surprisingly balanced. Don't get it wrong, pilots are built like mosquitoes compared to Titans. But what supports pilots for being impractical is how easy they get their Titans. There are many ways to acquire Titans, from shooting a group of grunts or introducing someone to the pavement. But the most efficient way is simply damaging Titans, which is not surprising since they're big walking targets, and giving them a viable weakness requires you to position your Titan well. Unless you're Ronin, who keeps running away like a little bitch. So take advantage with out of position Titans with small pocket shots, or yanking out that Tesla battery if you're fast enough. And when two different playstyles smashed together makes me feel like I'm fighting for my fucking life. And I haven't even included the 7 different classes you could play as from both sides. But we're going to talk about the pilots first, since you're going to spend at least 70% running and gunning. Also, side note, most of the review is based around game modes with both pilots and Titans. I know you have your other little game modes, but it doesn't really showcase what Titanfall can become. And yes, this is still technically part 1. Now, pilots have a total of 7 different abilities, and good news for you, only 2 of them are actually good. But I want to go in order from what I personally disdain to having me break the whole time. A wall is a wall you could shoot through, makes me want to throw my head into a wall. It's so pointless and easily avoidable. In my whole collective footage I have, I only had 1 clip of me using it, because in a game about moving, staying still is not fun. And if I ever catch you using it, I have a satchel charge with your name on it. Holopilot is an ability to make a hologram depending on your action. But honestly, I have mixed feelings about it. 10% of the time, it surprisingly works. I don't know how or why. And 90% of the time, I kind of want to know what lead tastes like. Definitely works in close quarters where the opponent will burst into a room and freak the fuck out thinking it's an enemy. But for me personally, it doesn't take long to notice a difference. Post Blade, you basically become a glorified UAV, which is very useful except for you, because when you throw that sonar knife, which can kill someone by the way, you're also revealing your position, and if your enemies are quick enough, they can punish you for it. It is possible to destroy the sonar, but just use your 3 brain cells and simply walk out of it. Phase shift will literally help you knock the fuck out of any situation, and it's in fact one of my favorite abilities because it consistently keeps me alive, especially in very specific situations where most tend to die. So if you want an ability to save you often, I recommend this one. What the fuck, where am I? Cloak is the most bipolar ability I have ever experienced. Against pilots, you're not really invisible towards them. You look like Casper, the friendly face stabber. And the only positive reason to run this, you become invisible to all Titans. So not only it's easier to avoid Titans, it makes them susceptible. It makes it easier for a guaranteed rodeo. Grapple and Stim both equally assist you in staying fast, and why understandably the 2 strongest abilities, because staying fast solves most of your problems. Getting cornered by a Titan, just grapple to mix up your movement. Getting shot in the rear, just pump yourself with 10 pounds of Adderall and turn it around. Not to look down on the other choices, they're great help, especially if you're new, but all of it comes down to is having enough experience and knowing how to move around the map. And another emphasis to keep moving are the guns. Gunplay in general urges people to stay highly mobile, because standing in place will give you a high recoil penalty, while moving it negates that recoil. Some guns benefit more, like the SMGs, especially the CAR, which basically has no recoil. But how I see it, most of the guns are not bad, you're just too slow. EPG, for example, is a slow projectile, but with my high mobility I can easily punish those who walk like turtles. The reason I'm saying all of this is that it's satisfying to use weapons that rely on speed. But go ahead, use that card, there's no issue with that. Meanwhile, why not remove your testicles since you won't be needing them? There's also anti-Titan weapons, which the name just says it all. You have a weapon that goes do-doom, 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 and a basic RPG, which is very nice. Now to slide into the next segment, Titans. These big, mean looking machines that will sweat out any pilots on sight, and the sole reason I swap out my underwear every time I enter one. Once you enter one of these bad boys, literally forget everything I just taught you. Every bar of health should be used to murder everything. Staying alive is really not the goal, it's a cycle. Get your Titan, wreak havoc, and re-get your Titan. If I see you conserving your Titan, get the hell out of there. You're more useless than a sentry. Now facing Titans is what gets a bit more difficult. One thing you have to worry about is positioning. Some have it more difficult. Some can literally choose to run away, but we'll talk about that tampon later. There's 7 Titans in total with 3 different sizes: Strider class, Atlas class, and K-Cell class. Each Titan fuck dude, I'm tired of saying Titans, I swear to God. And each one of them have abilities that correlate or assist on their playstyle. There's also ultimate abilities called Smart Core, which I don't know how some of them made it into the game. This is literally aimbot on a minigun. So let's begin showcasing each Titan, beginning with Ion. Ion is one of the simpler Titans. Every part of her kit revolves around energy management, so you can effectively use the same ability without any cooldown. But most of her energy consumption should be used around her vortex shield, because most Titans, hell, all Titans can't really do anything if her shield is up. But as I said, you need that energy, because without it, you're just a bald man at a barbershop. So to use her effectively, don't be afraid to receive small amount of damage to bait them to use a stronger attack, or use yourself as a shield to assist your team to get damage in. And finally, her Smart Core, which is a giant laser beam that destroys everything. Running away is the only solution, so be wary of any confident Ions. Legion is 100% built around his gun. Everything about this Titan is holding down the trigger. Now there's two different modes. Short range, which is the most ideal stance to use often. Apart from the overall damage, your third ability straight up removes anyone in your general direction. Now his second mode helps with long range engagement, and it's incredible in doing burst damage at the expense of losing ammo as twice as fast. But that's where the smart core comes in, because you get infinite ammo and aimbot, which is confusing me. Why is no one complaining about this? I used a smart pistol one time and I was called a very mean word. Now apart from being slow, his ultimate weakness is fucking ion. When your whole kit's around shooting things, this big Uno reverse card can really fuck you up. So to deal with it, try to ignore her. Treat it like your ex-girlfriend. Once she runs out of excuses, rearrange her guts. North Star is the sniper of the group. So you pop in, shoot, then pop right out. His rifle is based on a charge system. So the longer you hold it, the harder the hit. So it reinforces that you have to keep your distance, which you want to do since you're built like a Tootsie Roll. Plus, I wouldn't recommend staying in one spot, because even pilots could bully you in this Titan. And his smart core, which is complete ass, because obviously as a sniper, you don't want to stick out. This core is literally the opposite. You stick out like a fucking sore thumb. So if you're about to get cornered, just rip this core out. I'd be surprised if you get to survive. Scourge is a pain in the ass. It is the most difficult Titan to use and often not rewarding. But once you have a chance to have your moment, that feeling of deleting any Titan that comes close to you is delicious. He is in fact that one Titan I don't recommend playing if you're new. Not only is he skill reliant, but map reliant, because most of his kit works well in strong choke points. You basically want to cut off all escape routes and just pin them down for guaranteed damage. And if you manage to catch them off guard, they're basically dead. But as I said, he's difficult, so I suggest to warm up with other Titans first. Also, temper plating is actually great. Ignore what this weeb says. Monarch is probably the scariest Titan if left alone. He has the definition of a snowball effect, in that his core works more differently than other Titans. Each time he gets his core, it buffs his abilities. There's many options to choose from, such as firing more rockets or make your electric vape machine deal more damage. But what makes him impossible to deal with is this perk. To be able to steal batteries to keep you alive and increase your core. This is cheating, dog. Like, I don't know how to put it. And if he catches you in your doom state, you bet your sweet ass he's not gonna ask for consent. So don't be surprised if you become a priority target. Hell, you should also kill any monarchs on sight, or he'll become a bigger threat for your team. Ronin is a great Titan and stealing my kills. He is a hit and run Titan with a strong melee attack. Almost impossible to get pinned down, especially while holding your sword up, because it grants you a 70% damage reduction, which is, in my opinion, the strongest ability in the game. You could literally block a nuke and just walk it off. So always be guarding. Now what you basically should be doing is moving and flanking. Never try to engage head on. Just throw your arc wave, shoot them, then run away. He has so many dashes that he can dictate how he positions himself, and the reason being why most consider him S tier. The only negative side is that he has a bit of a skill curve, and his core, which makes your melee hit incredibly hard. But honestly, I just use it to be annoying or to escape, because you get fast recovery on your dashes. The only time I use it to be aggressive is when I see a monarch, because I'm not kidding when I say it's on sight. Tone is only difficult if you can't count up to 3. What you want to do is shoot your target 3 times, either at them or the ground near them, then shoot your rockets. And that's it. That's the Titan. Video's over, guys. He just feels like North Star with extra steps, and all of his abilities just helps him get his 3 marks off. Some consider him the most annoying Titan when facing him, but for me, his gun is the most bullshit part, because he can effectively one-shot pilots consistently, and for some reason they decide to give him AoE and his bullets, and the only Titan I'm afraid peeking twice. And lastly, his smart core, which is just hilarious. It's just a rocket barrage that tracks your target whoever you're looking at. You can use it normally, but the funny way is to launch it all into the air, find someone, and watch their demise. Watching it happen is hilarious. Being on the receiving end, not hilarious. What's also not hilarious is that you're still watching this video. Why haven't you gotten the game yet? It still has a good player base despite its release, and in fact not dead. I'm not saying this because I'm scared, but you guys obviously proved yourself that you're still active. But that's what makes me afraid, because there are hints of a new game coming out, and coming from EA, not a great sign. They already demolished one of my favorite franchises, and they're currently bulldozing Apex Legends. I think, I don't know, player count's still crazy high. I don't know how or why. So what I want for you is to have doubt. Don't believe anything they post. Don't expect anything good from them, and don't pre-order. And that's the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, the yada yada, and have a good one.